All right, this is going to be a quick video showcasing a simple ragdoll system that I just created for my game. This is a little bit different than just ragdolling a pawn when, for instance, when it dies or if it fell over. For my game, I wanted a separate actor to act as the ragdolls instead of ragdolling the existing pawn and then unpossessing it and just keeping it in game. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. Here I have three simple AI characters. These are based on my C++ class, but all I really do is I initialize them, and then when they die, I destroy the actor. So once they get destroyed, or right before they get destroyed, the ragdoll is actually being spawned in right over top of the pawn, and then we destroy the pawn. So here I'm spawning 50 because I was stress testing it, but you get the idea. And that's kind of another, I guess, useful thing. Like maybe you wanted to spawn pieces, of the mesh, like decapitation, dismemberment. You could use this system with a little tweaks to do that and just create, maybe 4 different ragdoll actors, and then pass each one a different mesh, like the arm or the torso, that kind of thing. And it's pretty performant. This is a more costly mesh, but it only hiccuped for a little bit, and that's spawning 50 at the same time. And then after, I think I have 30 seconds set their lifespan, then they just get destroyed. Okay, so what the C++ looks like. So in C++, in my character-based class, I have a death function here, and this executes when the health gets set to 0 or below upon taking damage. And on the server, I multicast out the die event, so this will run on the server and all clients. And this is the function here, multi-die implementation. This is where we actually create our ragdoll, and you can see ragdoll function lib. That's because I made it a function library, which is useful if you want to reuse code in other projects and keep things nice and organized. But if you go into here, I have 2 functions. I've got the create local ragdoll and then create local ragdoll stress tests. That's why it was spawning 50 of them. But we could go in here and take a look. So create local ragdoll, we pass it a from mesh and then a bool for whether we want to copy the pose from the mesh to the ragdoll. We spawn the ragdoll actor, and then we set the skeleton mesh from the skeletal mesh asset of the source mesh. We loop through and we copy the materials to the ragdoll. And then we do some setup for collisions and simulating physics, set the collision profile name, stuff like that. And then if copy pose is true, I have this hack in here for now because I actually need to figure out how to do this better. But if anyone has a suggestion on how to copy a pose between 2 separate skeleton meshes, drop me a comment below. I'd be very curious to see what other options there are. I just looked at the header files and found this, and it looked somewhat relevant and kind of works, so I threw it in there for now. But this is one area I need to improve this ragdoll. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Really simple function to spawn the ragdoll and set it up, and then the ragdoll class itself is just an actor without a tick, has a lifespan and a skeletal mesh component. And then on begin play, I just set the lifespan from whatever you set the lifespan property to. Very simple and works pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with it. it fit the needs of my game, and I hope it helps someone else out there. So yeah, give me a like if it helped you, or tell me that I'm stupid and did something stupid in the comments below. Okay, so I'm just gonna swap this over to the normal function. So it just spawns one. Then we'll see a little cleaner how it looks when you kill something. So you can see how I don't have the physics asset really set up yet, but it works pretty good. You know, I don't want it interactable yet, so that's why there's no collision or anything with anything except for the static world. But yeah, it works pretty well, easy to implement. Now anything that, you know, I want to create a ragdoll from, anything that has a skeleton mesh, I can just call this function, create local ragdoll, and boom, it'll create the local ragdoll. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. This is part 1. Part 2 I'll do once I have some improvements in the ragdoll system, like make sure the pose is transferred correctly. And I think I'm going to also do some blending of the physical animation so it doesn't just pop from the originating pose, and then also probably add some force vector from the hit reaction so that it goes in a direction that correlates to how they died, and maybe even some dismemberment and breaking things up into separate pieces of the body, which could be fun. You know, kind of like one of my favorite things in Shiv 2 is being able to chop off someone's arm or decapitate them, and then even be able to pick up their head and throw it and stuff like that. So that'll be coming. All right, thanks, and see you next time.